All right, here we go, here we go. Quote of the day: if you think too long about a thing, you'll never get it done. Bruce Lee. Awesome, we got our guest here. What's happening, brother? Let's try this. Bring the gentleman, Harry Matadine. Hey, brother.
Hey, Jerome. Okay, so visually, I can hear you audio. I can see you, but I can't see me. Can you see me?
I can see you. It's a picture of you, and it's just frozen on a picture of you, but we can hear your voice. We got audio.
Okay, unfortunately.
It's all good. You know, as long as we can hear your voice, it's no worries. He got kicked out. We'll try and do it again here. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Appreciate you. Hey, Tuche. All right. Let's try it once more here. We're just going through some technical.
Try. Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's try again. I apologize, guys, for this. It's really annoying on my end. Is something playing up with this?
It's all good, brother. You know, as long as we can hear your voice, it's all good. But do you want to try one more?
So yeah, you can hear me now, but you can't see me, right? I can't see myself on the screen. I can only see you, and
Right,
you're frozen.
It's a frozen image of you moving. That's all we can see.
Yeah, why would that be? That's bizarre. I don't know why this is happening because I've turned it on and off, and the internet signal is brilliant. So
Okay.
this makes no sense.
Do you want?
Yeah, we could try.
Do you want me to disconnect and try one more time?
Yeah, let's try one more time. Yeah, let's give it a go one more time. Let's hope for the best. Yeah.
I'll invite you right back. Okay.
Cool.
Prince Calm says Harry Matadine inboxed me. Huh. Y'all seem bright this morning. Yeah, it's a wonderful day. You know, feel the energy. All right. So, thank y'all for joining. Appreciate you. We're just going through some technical things, but we're about to get it started. Post haste. Wonderful guest today. Holistic Health with Harry, Mr. Harry Matadine. And many of you know him. You know, he's the author of 6 books. He's a sun gazer. He's a fellow light being. He's a Shivambu practitioner. And he's one of the most vulnerable people that I've seen in this space, in this Instagram, this internet space, using his platform to project more positivity into the world. So definitely gotta respect that, you know, gotta admire that quality, putting yourself out there. So let's see if we can bring him back into the stream here. And once more, we will try it one more time here. But it's no worries. Hey there, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Where are you coming from? Where are y'all at today? Throw it down in the comment section where you're coming from, where you're coming in. Tuche, I know you're in New York, right? But yeah, today's a beautiful day. The sun is coming up out here in San Antonio, Texas. And it's looking like a great one. I'm enjoying it. Let's see. Is he in? He's in. Let's try once more.
Right, I know what it was then. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Just a memory thing. I did a video on my memory, so that memory is gone. now. I took it off. So
All good.
apologize, everyone. Yeah,
All good, bro. All good, man.
obviously planned and everyone
Brother, welcome.
watching.
Yes. You know, Tuche just said hi. Tuche said she knows you. She's known you for a while as well.
She does, yeah. Since you're in therapy, Dr. Morse and stuff. Yep, I know Tuche very well. Yeah. I always like meeting her. It's all good to share audiences. It's like to share audiences, isn't it? The same people, but different people too. I love it. So it's good.
You know, she's coming in from Queens, New York. She's tuned in, and I know other people are going to tune in as well. And I'm just really appreciative that you were able to come into the space. I just played you up. I just talked about you. I gave you a quick intro, but of course you could introduce yourself as well if you'd like.
Sure. Well, I had you on first, Jerome, and I must say I thought it was inspirational. Self-improvement is brilliant and important. The mindset, and I love the stories you told. And I had you on, and it was a pleasure to have you on. So thanks for the favor back. And for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm a holistic health coach. Holistic Health Harry is a cheesy title, but my name's Harry Mattadine Falls, so I go by that. That's my name. And I do therapies. I found the face community 3 years ago up to urine therapy. What worked me into physical health? I was depressed, and we know we've all had these stories, right, of suicidal and depressed and by the system. And yeah, I was blessed to come in 3 years ago. I added myself into urine therapy groups on Facebook. That changed my life, and since then I just went on a journey in Facebook, learning from everybody. I'm like new things. From there, I was exposed to fasting. I never knew fasting was powerful. Fruitarianism, never knew that was a thing. What else? Semen retention. Wow. Growing your hair long for superpowers. Wow. So many things I've been exposed to from, and people talk about other, like Instagram's great. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I want to grow that now. It's a really cool channel. But I mean, it was Facebook actually, the social media channel that I did those years back that's changed me. And I'm super grateful for coming in the space. And now we can have these conversations through social media. People like to bash it. I think it's insane. Look what we're doing here right now. We're the soul family, learning from each other and growing, connecting. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I also see it like that. You know, it's a big soul family. It's a big, you know, they say your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And, you know, I would have never found out about you and about all the work that you've been doing and the positivity that you've been projecting into the world had I not also raised, you know, my own frequency and my vibration. So I really do it's just awesome. It's awesome, like you said, to be sharing these things, to be using the platform in this way, and to be talking about this content. Yeah,
it's amazing. The journey of vibration up is just beyond phenomenal, and it never gets boring because you live in duality, right? There's always an infinite level that people are like, oh, don't you ever get bored of like what doing health therapies, becoming the best version of yourself, you know, raising my vibration, because it's infinite levels we play at. So no, I don't get bored. We're never static, right? A lot of us here, we're on that growth journey. Maybe we take 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards because we're not perfect. We make mistakes with what we know better than what we do sometimes, but that's okay. Same with me. You know, me, Jerome, and a lot of you aren't immune just because we help other people. We're not immune from fallacies and faults ourselves. It's just, I think one of the keys to the journey is learning not to judge yourself too much. That's been big for me. Oh, by the way, Tommy's there. My friend's Tommy. Sure, I had to give a shout out to Tommy. We spent some time together recently. So, yeah, awesome. Yeah, he's a cool dude. He does age urine. So, yeah, where was I? Yeah, we got to forgive ourselves. That's one of the things I'm learning currently. I was way too extreme in terms of what I was doing and not forgiving myself. And that, of course, led to judging other people much. Now that I'm a little bit less extreme, but still happy, I get to that headspace of, hey, I don't need to judge other people because I'm not judging myself. And I'm just trying to do my best to enjoy the ride. So.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, man, that's so powerful. You know, we often forget about that. Forgiveness, you know, and not just forgiving others, but forgiving ourselves. More importantly, like, can you forgive yourself? I think there's like a saying in Hawaii about ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. It's like a practice where they say,
yeah, I've heard it.
I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, and I love you. And you just say that like repetitiously over and over, that mantra, and it just becomes so healing, you know? Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, what you say, what you think becomes you, and that's what affirmations work, I guess. If you repeat something enough times. Whilst you're there, there's one thing I want to talk about that's been on my mind since last week. I heard it on a podcast. I thought it was the only person, kind of, you know, you think you're the only person, but, you know, it happens to all of us. It's like the imposter syndrome, Jerome. Have you heard of the imposter syndrome that people get?
Yes, let's talk about it.
Yeah, because I've always had these thoughts, even now, like, have like a lot of people look at us and go, oh, right, you've written all these books, you've written books, I've written books, and you think, oh, wow, they're perfect. But what goes through my mind most of the time is, yeah, I've got good knowledge and stuff, but sometimes every now and again I get doubts. And like, am I even worthy of how other people perceive me? And it's bizarre, like, because other people, everyone has different perceptions of you, right, based on social media and even reality too, and it's often kind of like a skewed way of what you actually are, because we're humans, that we're all flawed. So I get these doubts, and I was always used to think, oh, that's just me. I'm just doubting myself. It's part of my trauma. That's what I was saying. Oh, my trauma is unique, and I'm doubting myself, even though I've written all these books, and I'm so extreme with what I do every day. And like, yeah, it's interesting that came up. And in that podcast, that guy's a biohacker. He's 50 years old. His name's Luke Story. And I love this guy because he's so vulnerable, and he's a cool alpha, and he fucking shares a lot of shit. And he made me realize it's not just him, it's all of us. We all, no matter how high you vibe, you're going to get moments where you feel like you're an imposter. You're incongruent with what you're teaching and practicing and talking about. And that's okay. You're not. It's just you've forgotten how far you've come and your journey. And you're now comparing yourself to a version of you that's unrealistic.
Right.
And it's okay to be human, and it's okay to be vulnerable. In fact, what works on social media in real life, and what makes people really like us and you and everyone, is vulnerability. Like, it's not just, oh, I'm the guy that is super cool and does all the therapies and is perfect. No, what people really connect with is a bit of that, a bit of learning, but mostly vulnerability. Like, you're a human, you make mistakes. Like I said earlier, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And I and you and everyone here watching this gets these moments where we feel like imposters. Does that mean we're imposters? No. It's what it is. It's subconscious programming, I think, from what we haven't healed, from all what we used to be. Right. We've come a long way from what we used to be, all of us, but we still got that subconscious damage, and that's okay because we're healed again. So.
Yes. Man, that's so powerful. And I love how you talk about vulnerability, because you even say on your page, enjoy being vulnerable. And I definitely believe that vulnerability is a strength. It's not a weakness. When we share these personal, deep touching things about ourselves, it's very relatable to other human beings, because we're all human. We all go through different things. And in imposter syndrome, I went through it as well. I wouldn't have gotten to the level of, doing all these things that I've done, like having all these different podcast episodes and just speaking my mind, if I had felt that I was unworthy for somebody else to listen, right? Like, who am I to be able to, or where did the audacity come from that I think I can help another human being, or like, who would listen to me, right? But when we can, overcome these feelings of being an imposter, we can realize that we can all help another person. You're always in a position to give. Yeah.
And I think the key to overcoming these programmings is one thing that you just nailed there. You nailed it. You said what you did is you just did it anyway. The key is to have those thoughts, and you might not be able to get rid of them today, but it doesn't matter. You just take action and do the right thing always. What does that right thing mean? It means constant improvement. You make the videos, you do the interviews. Like, sometimes I do interviews with people, and I get, how we all, Jerome, we all have our fanboys and fangirls, yeah? People we think that, like, oh my God, and you get nervous around them, and you're like, oh my God, I'm interviewing this person. Well, we do, but the thing is, we push through our fears. We don't let how we come across at any moment stop us from doing the right things, and then we grow into it, and with practice, you don't become an imposter. That just becomes like a small, tiny part of your brain instead of a massive part of your brain, and you step into your power. Part of the huge thing, I think, with men and women, especially men, divine masculine, is to always step into your power and move in outside your comfort zone a little bit. Edge into your comfort zone daily, not a massive leap, because that scares the shit out of you, and it'll be too much when assimilate. But you do it smallly. And women should be doing this too. Divine masculines and feminine should always be stepping outside their comfort zone slowly, a little bit a day, and then guess what? It becomes normal. Now it's normal for me and you to interact. And the funny thing is, Jerome, I don't know about you, but I'm an introvert. People don't look at my videos and they think, oh yeah, he's not introvert. But you too, right? I thought so. We are introvert people. It's just what happens is we're introverts that when we get to talk about what things that matter, we become extrovert because it's the mission pulling us. It doesn't mean we're extrovert people. I'm introverted. I like my own space, and if I get spend too much time talking to people, around people, even sometimes soul family, I get drained. So I need that alone time to recharge.
Yes, I definitely agree, man. It's just so funny talking about it, because you're right. Like, just because you have been associated with a certain label, like, I'm this type of person, I'm not that type of person. Like, I wish I could do those things, but I'm not that type of person, right? It's like, don't let those labels or those things, stop you from doing the things that you actually feel connected to or you feel passionate about, So, wow, brother.
That's huge. let me say one interesting story about that. So I remember the biggest time, the most powerful rapping experience I had for being something that I wasn't. Like I had so much like resistance to it. It was actually how I got into the community before physical health was through pickup artistry and self improvement. So picking up women on streets or chatting up girls. And at the very beginning of that journey, I was so scared of socializing just with people. I couldn't walk up to a stranger and say, an old man, and say, even ask him for the time or ask directions, but I had to. So my challenge was I got to ask an old man or any random person on the streets for the time. And when I was doing that, my brain was resisting and saying, hey, Harry, don't do this. Don't do this. This is not you. This is not you. You're being fake. You're being a fraud. Don't do this. And it was like really bad. I remember it to this day. And it was all it was asking someone directions. What's wrong with that, Harry? Yeah. There's nothing mean with that. Yeah, I was doing it because I wanted to, I guess, improve my skills with cold approaching women. But, you know, I was doing something not bad. But I just remember that resistance. We all get it all the time. This idea that, oh, don't change yourself. You know, that's don't resist. You know, I must say I've come a long way, but the biggest leap I think for me and you and everyone watching this is the beginning. The biggest leap is at the very beginning. It's the hardest time. Yeah. When you're taking that first step, that's when the resistance comes the biggest. Because you know, it's like when you reach that tipping point, you're like, okay, it's now or never. That's when, like, man, I've made the most growth at the very beginning of my journey. It was beautiful.
Yes, yes. You know, it's like the tipping point that we talk about. Like when it comes to anything, when we're doing anything, it's like sometimes it feels like pushing a boulder up a mountain, right? And then finally you get to the top of that mountain. And at first it took all of that force to get that boulder up there. But then once you're at the top, it just takes a small amount of force. And now it's rolling on its own momentum, and you've got, you know, you got it going. Now it's a lot easier. Yeah. But the thing is, like, I realized a lot of these things, they didn't get easier. You just got better. You know, you got better at doing these things. And that's why it feels easy to you, because you're more, you know, mastery, you know, that repetition.
Exactly. That's like, you just nailed a Jerome quote. Life doesn't get easier. This is quite a famous quote. Life doesn't get easier. You get better. Yeah. And then here's the challenge though. You get better, and it's your duty now not to take for granted that you've transformed, and to tap into your gratitude and for how grateful you are. Because the problem is you'll get used to that and think, oh, I'm just this now, it's not a big deal. When actually it is a big deal, because you've transformed. And actually when you're in your mastery, which you think is not a big deal, sometimes you get in that ingratitude moment. When you're in your mastery, like we are now, and a lot of people watching this are, they've got their own masteries. When they're in it, you help other people. Other people can see your masteries, and therefore you can learn. People can tell when someone's talking with mastery. It's the way we talk. Maybe they talk fast. You can see them connecting the dots. You can see in their eyes, their mannerisms, and that's beautiful. And it's important not to take for granted that, you know, just because it's easy for us now, we have to remind ourselves that's our duty. So like remind ourselves, oh damn, I've come a long way. You know, holy crap. It's amazing. Be proud of yourself. And not even rely on the external validation aspect of other people, you know, saying, oh, you're amazing. That's cool. And other people saying, recognizing your mastery. But you should recognize your mastery more than anyone and say, hey, I was like 10 years ago, I could never do what I'm doing now. It's crazy.
So celebrating yourself, congratulating yourself, you know, patting yourself on the back and saying, like, you know, looking back to see how far you came, to see the transformation that took place in your life. Yeah, I love it. You know, we have Tuche down in the comments. Tuche said, same here. I am such an introvert, but when it comes to detox, healing, and Oran therapy, I can't stop. Yeah.
Yes. Isn't it funny? Like, your soul tells you that you can't keep quiet. Like, even if you're introvert, if you keep quiet about it, it will hurt your soul. You get this intuitive feeling that it's seriously damaging when something transforms your life. And of course, what most of us do, I'm sure everyone watching this and yourself can relate, at the beginning, we like want to tell everyone. So people that won't understand, and they're just too much in distance, they'll never understand. But at the beginning, you're like, oh, I've got to tell you about your info. I've got to tell you about fasting. I've got to tell you about mindset and growth and all this stuff. And then you learn after a time that you can pick and choose your battles and save your energy for the right people, and don't waste it on people that will never change.
Yes.
And then you can go back to introvert with them. I've learned the skill actually of finally I've learned the skill of just getting better accepting people as they are, and not if they're not on a journey like me and it's not their fault, then cool. I just interact with them in a human way that's like whatever I give them whatever they want. That's one of my skills. I give people, whatever you want out of me, I can give you. But if you don't want growth out of me, which is who I really am, then I won't give you growth. I'll just have a nice conversation and maybe make it about you. And that's okay. I'll talk about you and what you like. So
yeah. Now, Harry, brother, you recently just did a blood test, right? You had a
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh my God, what a synchronicity that you bring up as well. Because today it arrived today. I haven't
Oh,
done it. I mean, I did a post saying it's coming up today. It arrived in the post.
okay.
Yeah. Today I got the test.
So you
Yeah, I
already
didn't know
got
you
the
noticed
results
that.
back?
Cool. No. So it came in a few days ago. I ordered it. Today it's come in the post. Now they told me don't do it on the weekend because it sits in the post too long. So I'm going to do it Monday. Monday, I've got it now with me, but on Monday I'm going to do the ping prick,
Okay.
and I'm going to get tested for testosterone,
Yeah.
free testosterone,
And vitamin D,
semen retention
right?
probably will help with that. Vitamin D and others that I didn't put on the post. So like liver, C-reactive protein, all the things that are like kind of important. Yeah, it was pretty cheap too. So I'm blessed to. I will definitely let you know. And everyone on Facebook, I can't keep my mouth shut about it. Even if it's bad, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about vitamin D? Why is that very important for you and others? And also testosterone, because I remember you saying something at the beginning of this interview about even semen retention. And I think that's being talked about a lot more in these communities. And so I would love to hear your opinions on both.
Bro, you just nailed two superpower physical health, which is linked to every kind of health things. Yes, one of them is linked for guys, but the other one, vitamin D. So start with vitamin D. We know that sunshine is absolute medicine. Hopefully everyone knows, and if they don't, it's cool. Because I've written books on sunlight, and there's information out there on sunlight. It doesn't just do one thing. Sun is always changing colors. It's multifactorial prism light. It's got 7 chakra colors, but it's like at the beginning, sunrise, sunset is predominantly red light therapy. People might have heard of red light therapy. It's probably that. Now, that's different to vitamin D because you don't make vitamin D at sunrise, sunset. When the sun goes high in the sky, and depending on where you are, if in equator, it's always, doesn't matter what season. But I'm in summer in the UK, high up, so it's okay. In the summer and the midday time, the sun at highest in the sky, when there's a lot of UVB in the sky, that's the point where we start making vitamin D. Or shall we say, do we start making vitamin D? No, the sun triggers your skin. When it hits the skin and you allow it to hit your skin, that's important, right? Because if you don't hit much, if you cover your entire skin up apart from your face, you won't make much vitamin D, guys. You need to expose your skin as much as possible. So the more skin you expose, so I was doing this today and it was kind of not too cold, it's okay. So yeah, the more skin you expose, the more vitamin D you make. Vitamin D is, for people to understand, I'm sure you're aware, let's just repeat knowledge, right, and learn. There's a photoreceptor for vitamin D. There's a receptor for inside every single cell of the body. That's how important it is. It seems to prevent every disease under the sun if you have optimal levels. If you don't, you are susceptible. It doesn't mean you guarantee you will get a disease if you don't load, but it really helps protect you from loads and loads of diseases, and it seems to thrive. For me, I've noticed, and no one talks about this, it seems to shift my personality. So if you guys know, when you're on high on vitamin D, you become the best version of yourself. So I become more funny, and I'll say shit. I'm like, where'd that come from? So there's a high link between personality in it that's outside of physical health, I think. But physical health-wise, vitamin D has been shown. It's not just bones. Mainstream just think it's just about bone health. Yes, it does bone health. Bone health's linked to muscles, so it increases your muscle strength, your bone strength. It prevents every cancer, multiple sclerosis, lowers your blood pressure. Oh God, I wish I'd reread my book because we're learning so much here and I haven't tapped into a while. Honest to God, I can't big up vitamin D as a massive focus enough. It's not the only thing in sun, even though it's not the only thing in the midday sun, but that UVB, which is a high penetrative, small, short wave light, which they, by the way, the mainstream say causes cancer. The UVB, right. And possibly it does in a really unhealthy person. As the sun tries to detox you, it possibly does cause that problems, but you can build up slowly. So they're trying to tell us, put sunscreen. That's another issue. They'll try and tell you from the UVB sun that creates vitamin D, put sunscreen. Guess what sunscreen does? You know this, Jerome. Sunscreen will block vitamin D. If you want a way to be really unhealthy, aside from the fact sunscreen puts loads of toxins into your skin and bloodstream, it stops vitamin D. That's insane to me. Not only that, with glass windows doesn't allow UVB. It allows a bit of UVA, but no UVB. So if you're inside with the windows closed, and you think the sun's coming through, nope, you're not making any vitamin D. It's like the wonder. There's so many magical things about sun, but vitamin D is a particularly wonderful one. Of concern that I'm just remembering now is if you are fat, the vitamin D doesn't get made properly because it gets stored in the fat cells. So there are issues, not that I judge people for being fat, but there are issues with being overweight. And one of them is you can't make vitamin D. It gets trapped in the fat cells, will never get remade. Get made. And there are many issues with it, bro. Yeah. And also the older you get, the less vitamin D you make. So we've got to be we've got to really focus on our health the older we get. And it's funny enough, a lot of old people don't take the sun seriously. They're up in the old people's homes inside all day long. They don't get the sun, and it's so key. I mean, I'm in the UK, right? And even when it's hot here, guys will wear t-shirts and cover up when they should be taking their tops off, and it's just mad. And of course the sunscreen thing and the sunglasses thing. Oh my God, the sunglasses thing is another one. It's mental that people aren't. Yeah, one thing with this blood test, as you mentioned, is I'm really excited about the vitamin D levels, because I wouldn't be surprised if I'm quite high. I would be surprised if I'm not. I mean, I spend so much time doing my naked jam that
taking in, you know. Yeah.
Oh, one more thing too. It's linked in with testosterone. There's a link between vitamin D and testosterone.
What is that?
So they've done studies. Yeah, they've done studies, man. The more vitamin D you make, the more testosterone, the higher testosterone levels. So literally, vitamin D is a testosterone, it's a masculine thing. It drives up your masculinity as the testosterone rises because of the vitamin D. So it makes you feel good. Your personality goes up. Your health. I mean, when I do yoga on vitamin D in the summer versus the winter, there's a huge difference in how my muscles bend. That's a great example to me, and one of many. But yeah, it's beyond phenomenal. I wrote literally half my first book on vitamin D. I want to revisit it, and I'm always reading books on it and how amazing it is. And yes, the mainstream knows, kind of, that they take their vitamin D supplements. But guess what? Even their supplements, I'm not saying they're good or bad. I have no opinion on them. I think you can use them. They might work, but they're not enough. Like the limits. That's another issue. The limits of vitamin D, the limits is like way higher than what they've been telling us. And 3,000, even 10,000 a day ain't enough. You get 20,000 from sun, right? You're supposed to get 20,000 a day from sun at least. And another one more thing. You can't ever overburn on vitamin D from sun. The body just automatically switches off at a certain point after you've been in there basking for 2 hours. So if you're worried about, oh, can I overdo it on vitamin D and sun? No, you can overdo it on supplements though. You can overdo it on supplements, even though it's hard. You can overdo it on supplements, but you can't overdo it on sun.
I love that, you know, like you say, you can't overdo it. You know, I've heard, you know, that human beings, we're like the most advanced technology. Our bodies are like this bio machine. Because, you know, the sun, we can take in the sun all day, but like you put a cell phone in the sunlight, in direct sunlight for even a short period of time, and it's like burning out, you know, it cannot be operated, you know, it's shutting off, and it's like technology can't be under that light for that long, but we can, you know. Yeah. That's
a really good point. I didn't think about that. Technology suffers in the sun, doesn't it? Big time. It doesn't go.
Right.
We can. We're lucky. Yeah.
It charges us up, you know. So, oh my goodness. There's so much to unpack there, you know. I like how you talked about sunscreen as well. And just letting the sun hit different parts of your body, the more skin that it hits. And
the more skin, the better. And linked in with testosterone, if you really want to up your testosterone, vitamin D levels, obviously localize it to the area. So if guys and girls should always try and yoni and testicles to the sun and to the midday sun, all suns, but especially the midday sun because it's nice and warm, right? And the midday it's normally warm. So that's really key, I think. That's a really sacred part of the body that no one outside of our communities is doing because they're embarrassed or they've got, you know, they don't believe, even if they're by themselves, they wouldn't do it because it's nuts. But actually, it's really healthy to, yeah, I mean, naked. What's your opinion, by the way, Jerome, on nudism and stuff? Like, do you think it's something that we were doing?
I don't have a big opinion on it at the moment because I'm not a nudist practitioner. But, you know, my opinion is evolving. It's evolving.
Good. That's how we learn. We grow from that. Yeah.
It's evolving. You know, I'm becoming more open to it because I understand that there are certain regions, you know, certain parts of my body that have not seen sunlight, you know, on the level that they could. And it was like, wow, you know, let me explore that a little bit. And I also would love to dive deeper into the difference between how much percentage we get from the skin versus the eyes. Like, what is the difference between the sunlight coming and hitting the skin or the sunlight coming into the eyes?
Right. I'll start with that question by saying I'm just going to give my opinion here. I'm certainly not an expert, but I've done experimentations and I've read podcasts and stuff. So my belief, I guess, and I'll share with you guys, is that skin is definitely a solar panel for sun. Like, it is a huge factor, an extra energy output. It's massive. And obviously, the more skin you expose, the better. That's why I believe nudism works. And it really does improve your health and happiness because the more... Having said that, I believe the number one photoreceptor of light for your entire body system is the eyes, not the skin. And that being said, that's also why sun gazing works, because when your most important photoreceptor of eye gets direct visual contact with the sun, and by the way, even if it's not direct, you're still getting sunlight into the eyes, aren't you? Even under cloud cover, the sun comes through, guys. Yes, chemtrails, the sun comes through. If you're not looking at the sun and you're outside, it's still going to hit your eyes. But sun gazing is the ultimate because what it does is it puts your eyes in direct contact with the sun. And that is a transformational health practice, which I wrote books on. You've written books. We both have, snap. We both written books on sun gazing. The reason why it works is because eyes are definitely, without doubt, in the human avatar, always been the most important photoreceptor of light. Is how we receive our sunlight nutrition the best. The skin doesn't majorly, it wasn't a backup. The skin is designed for that, but the eyes are the most important. And there's so many things that we know about science-wise now that I'm connecting the dots, we're connecting the dots with, but also there's things we don't know about what sun gazing is actually doing and when it hits the eyes that are magical and mystical, a bit like with DMT and all these kind of crazy things. So yeah, did I answer your question?
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, in spades.
Yeah.
I love it. I love how you over deliver. You know what I'm saying? That's what they think
cool.
is a great thing to do when you have a business, is to under promise and over deliver. So it's like I'll pitch you a question, I bounce the volleyball over to you, and then you like spike it back.
Do you know what? Do you know the truth why that is? Because hardly anyone ever asks me that question. I've got so much burning knowledge, because I give people what they want, and people ask me questions. So I'm helping other people most of the time. So when it's my chance to give out what I know and what I fucking love, I over deliver because I get excited. I'm like, oh shit, I can say what I want here. But it's true what I'm saying. It's really what I've learned, and it's a lot of experience. And everyone can watch, understand and relate, I'm sure, to what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything groundbreaking, I don't feel. That's the cool thing with this. We just reaffirm each other's knowledges, confirming what we already know, which is great.
Now, sun gazing is very important, for people to realize. But also, there's another thing that you are doing, and that's blue light blockers. So why is that important for people to know? Because I know for me and for my parents, I've like gone into their cell phone and I've gone into the settings, and I've set times during the day for the light to just automatically lower so that they're not looking at the blue light. But why would we want to wear blue light blockers?
Huge topic. Thank you so much for bringing this up. Because I did not understand this very well, and I was like, oh, sun gazing, or doing all the good things. Well, guess what? If you don't watch the bad things, like think of junk diet, that can affect your health. Well, junk light has a massive impact, even if you are doing sun gazing, getting sunlight at the good times. Because guess what? At nighttime, in nature, as our ancestors lived, we were never exposed to light outside of firelight and stars and moon, which have very low lux. And the firelight was the strongest light we'd have, and that is a red light therapy, like the sunrise, sunset sun. It was never like a midday blue sun. We were never exposed to a midday blue sun at nighttime. But now, with a blue screen, which, by the way, I know these screens don't look blue, guys, but what I'm looking at right now on the camera, we're looking at, all of us, is actually blue, unless you've got to be looking like us, is it? Yeah, it's not. But yeah, the problem is, like, if you're looking at nighttime, with a midday sun, in effect, because it's a high blue midday sun, guess what that's telling your body? Well, number one, it's telling your body your body's circadian rhythm, its timing is going to be off base. Because when you're supposed to be going to sleep and having the red light therapy, the fire or nothing or no light, your body's going, oh, blue light's here. And what blue light does from sunlight is stressful in a good way. It's stress that adds cortisol, because you're supposed to get shit done at midday as a human, or ancestors. You're not supposed to have stress at night time. You're supposed to have more melatonin. So yeah, there's so many things that are wrong with looking at blue screen at night. Another one I'm sure everyone here knows is melatonin. It inhibits the melatonin that your body produces. Melatonin is the number one very important anti-cancer, anti-aging, anti-cancer, antioxidant. Sweeps up free radicals. You will not produce that shit if you're looking at screens constantly before night. And on top of that, if you look at screens like 1 hour before bed, that's going to fuck up with your sleep, not just from lack of melatonin, because you're getting more cortisol. And not only that, I learned this recently. It's fascinating. So blue light from the sun warms your body up, right? That makes sense. Blue midday sun warms you up. Blue light from a screen warms your body up. As soon as your eyes make contact with it, your body gets warmer. Now, we know that our body has to cool down in order to sleep good. That's why we take a hot shower before bed, because it warms us up and cools us down. And yeah, our body cools down with the melatonin arising at nighttime. But if you're looking at a blue screen at night, your body is warming up at a time when it's supposed to be cooling down. Therefore, you won't get to sleep. And if you do get to sleep, you're going to have a shit sleep. So if you want a shit sleep, guys, if you want a really shit sleep, and it goes deeper, because there's something else. I'm sure you're big on this too, Jerome, and the audience watching, like dreams, the power of dreams. All dreams have meaning, and we're meant to remember our dreams because they're our subconscious teaching us lessons. Now, if you look at blue screens at nighttime, that it's a fact, it inhibits your ability to dream and to remember your dreams. And that's a huge problem. That's what my main motivator actually, to wear blue blocking glasses at night and to look silly and have on my computer iris which I recommend people get. I recommend people do everything. Do the blue blocking software on iPhone and stuff. The best one though, guys, is Iris.
Okay.
Look into Iris. It costs $15. You put on your laptop, tablet. $15. You got the whole program.
Wow.
Forever, and it's really because it's got more features than the others. And I literally look at that on my computer screen, not this one, but on my computer tablet, black and white. I put it on black and white. I'm really extreme, so I wouldn't even put the orange tint on. I think that's good. So yeah.
Wow.
There's so many issues with. I put again in my latest sun gazing book. I had to put 50% of it on blue light at night because it's toxic. Just as toxic diet, yeah. I think, to be honest with you, Jerome, I think toxic light is worse than toxic diet. I mean, I know there's really bad foods out there, but the amount of light that you just don't. I'm trying to say is you get the connection, guys. Start learning the connection between this light being toxic to your eyes at nighttime. When you start making that connection, you'll start getting better results. You start wearing blue blockers. Your dreams will change. You'll start remembering your dreams. You'll start sleeping better. You'll start having more energy. It's crazy, mad, powerful. So.
Wow. But thank you for going thank you for going into depth with that, because you brought up a lot of things that I don't even think about. We don't even realize that are hitting us all the time. And real quick, Alex he said, what's it called? Alex, what is what called? Shoot that down in the comment section so we can.
Oh right, is it? Does he mean the blue blocking light software that everyone should get?
Iris? Is he talking about Iris?
Yes, it's called Iris. Go into Iris eye software on Google. I think there's a couple of things on Iris. You might get confused. You type in Google. Type in Iris eye software on Google. And yes, you'll find it, guys. I can even drop you the link, and yeah, you can find it. It costs $15, and it's not just a normal blue blocking light. I do recommend any, but this one's the best. This can do a lot more than just blue blocking. Oh, another issue with that, if you don't mind me talking a little bit about, is these screens don't just give you blue light. They also, what's the word for it? Flicker. They have another problem with these screens is flicker. Now, yes, and I'll give you an analogy to make you understand, Jerome. So what it does, the flicker from the screens is making our eyes contract and expand at a rate which it's like pumping your muscles all the time, but really fast. Our eyes are doing the same thing. Now, that's not healthy for your eyes to be contracting and expanding extreme levels all the time when we're looking at the screens. Right. But that's what's happening when we're looking at the blue light at night. So the Iris software, not just blue light, sorry, all computer screens, doesn't matter the color. It's a power output thing with these screens, a power output. So our eyes are constantly having a strain. By the way, that's the reason why we get eye strain. It's not blue light that causes eye strain so much as, although it's bad, it's actually the flicker rate is high. So what Iris has got is it's got a feature where you can turn the power, the brightness. I can't remember if it's down or up. I can't remember which one off the top of my head. Anyway, I've got it on a feature that you just press it, and like a biohacker one, and it turns off the flicker, and my entire screen goes black and white, and I'm like, cool. I get no flicker, and then I can look at the screen for hours without. Because I'm sure you've been there, Jerome, when you just look at the screen for such a long time, you're like, you get irritated. Yeah. Like, why am I irritated? Yeah. Is it the Wi-Fi? I thought, is it the Wi-Fi? No, actually, it's not just the Wi-Fi and the EMFs, and it's actually the flicker. It's pissing me off. It's making me like annoyed. I'm miserable.
Wow. These are very important things for people to know, because it's like especially what you said about the dreams. For the longest time, for years, I thought that I just didn't dream, or I thought that I didn't dream, but we're dreaming, but I wasn't remembering my dreams. And it's like not knowing that when I was going into that sleep state, also looking at my phone before I went to bed, it did a major, or had a drastic change in my sleep, and so, wow, it's very important to know that not only you said the junk diet, but junk light. What kind of light?
Junk diet is huge. You know how I got into the big time into the dreams aspect? That's what motivated me. It was a biohacker, David Asprey, talked about an experience he had on a plane. So before he went into the airport on a plane, 1 hour before, he put his blue blocking glasses on. He kept them on in the terminal, and on the plane journey, he kept his entire plane journey, his LA 8-hour flight or something, LA, and he kept them on for 8 hours or something. And he's got a ring to track his sleep and quality of sleep. It's called an Aura ring. People can buy it. Pretty cheap, another thing too. And he got an amazing sleep on a Wi-Fi infested EMF door, really bad planes are, right? But because he wore the red light, the blue blocking glasses, the heavy ones, he had an amazing sleep. And that woke him up, and he said it in a podcast, and this was last August. And I was like, oh shit, that's another thing I've not been doing. Because here's the thing, I knew about it like you did, and probably a lot of people, but I didn't know that. I thought it was just an hour before bed. So when I heard him say that, I was like, okay, I'm going to wear it not just an hour before bed. I'm going to wear the blue blockers non-stop as soon as the sun gets dark. So in the winter time, I have like 5 hours before I go to sleep when it gets dark until I sleep. So I wore it for 5 hours, and in the first few days, I was like, my dreams just came back to me, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is legit. I'm excited. Now I've got to preach to people all the time, write a book about it, about how powerful it is, not just to wear blue blockers a bit, although of course we work with people where they're at. So if it's friends and family, just an hour before bed, brilliant. But if it's us and we're hardcore, my God, as soon as the sun goes down, you wear your damn blue blockers. Now it's okay now in the summer, right? You wear your damn blue blockers. It's okay in the summer now. In the summer, because like it's light until 9:30 here, and I mean I go to bed straight after. But in the winter time, you've got 5 hours between you going to sleep and that. So yeah, I mean I'm extreme, and I would do whatever because that's how I learn and give people knowledge. But also it's because I care about my eye health, but it's not even eye health. I care about my general health. And like we said earlier, this is the most important photoreceptor of light for medicine, right? Sun gazing. Guess what? This is the most important photoreceptor light to protect at nighttime from junk light. This is essential to protect. So you can do two things. You can either remove yourself from the toxic environment, don't watch blue screens, go and read a book. But even then, you've got normal lamps. You've got to be careful. You maybe put red lights in your house. You can wear blue blocking glasses. Absolutely brilliant. You can buy cheap ones for $6, $11, guys, that are really hardcore, that only let red light in, which I've got. I'll send you guys links. On top of that, you can wear Iris. You can use the software. There's not just Iris, there's Flux. There's lots of software out there. But I mean, I've got to say, Jerome, one thing I really want to push in the communities is, even more than sun gazing sometimes, that's amazing, is the junk light. Please, let's start. How easy is it to pay $15, guys? $15, yeah? And you have Iris, top quality. You'll never find it. It's got so many features and you can geek out forever. It's gonna save your health, this shit. And it costs $15. This is not, yes, it does cost money. It's not a huge expenditure, you know, and yeah, it's a game changer, and it's so important. You can't have 50 balance. You can't just do good things and then think, oh, I'm gonna do some bad things now and don't worry about the good things. No, you put in all the work and been outside all day and done sun gazing for 5 minutes a day. Brilliant, well done. Don't undo your work, or even a little bit, by going and looking at junk light. It's so key. You know, you know what? I feel sorry the most for kids. I feel sorry the most for kids, because kids now are like up till, why do you think they can't sleep at night? It's pretty obvious. They're watching the blue screen junk. They're the worst for it. Like, their parents have no idea, or that they haven't made the connected dots. Like, these screens are like keeping them ADHD because it's a midday sun they're looking at nighttime. So that's making them hyper. You don't look at midday sunlight. That goes against nature. Like, looking at that makes no sense. Look what humans have done. How crazy is that when you think about it? How mad that we've invented technologies that are telling, we're looking at midday suns at nighttime. That's ridiculous.
So thinking of your devices, this is really this is like a midday sun that you're looking at, and if you're looking at it at night, it's telling your brain, it's telling your your eyes that the sun is out right now, even though it's nighttime. Like you said, I love it. That was tremendous what you said, Harry, about years ago when all we had was fire and the starlight and the the twilight sky and the sun. We didn't have all these devices to be looking at this technology. So, our bodies were wired very differently back then. So I love that you pointed that out, that in this time, with all this abundance of technology and resources around us, we can, we can use things, we can invest in ourselves, investing into getting ourselves back into homeostasis and the equilibrium with the eyes. And the eyes are so important, right? It's like, I know.
Eyes are the windows of the soul. Eyes are the windows to the light. Eyes are everything. It's how we do the dance with the divine opposites to ours. Eyes are everything. So why not protect these eyes? And one thing, by the way, I'm not saying, and you'd agree with me too, it's like, I'm not saying don't use technologies. I'm a guy that lives in modern society. Look, we're all materialistic somewhat, and we're on a journey towards simplifying to find our soul, our core essence. But in that, I'm not saying remove yourself completely, and we can't go back tomorrow and without transition into jumping into a caveman without freaking ourselves out and crying and think I can't do this. It's a process for everybody, but part of the process is recognizing that we are actually looking at junk lights at nighttime. We are actually, and we've been brainwashed to believe that the sun is bad for us, when guess what? It's the opposite, right? So we have to unlearn so many little things, and you are just I've just got a little piece. You got a little piece. Everyone's got a piece for each other, and when we piece it together, we go on a journey, and that journey is super fucking fun, and I'm super fucking grateful, and I just love it so much.
So there's a hashtag that you just coined. I love it. It's wear your damn blue blockers.
Yeah.
Wear your damn blue blockers.
Blue blockers. Yeah.
Tuche,
I love it. People, when, on my YouTubes, people see me with the glasses. They think, or on Facebook Lives, people think I'm doing it because I want to look cool. I'm like, no, I don't care. I know people will tell me as well on the Zoom sometimes, in the Zoom meetings when I'm like doing meditations with other people. They'll say like, Harry, can you take your glasses off? I'm like, no, because I'm not doing it for. I'm doing it because I love my health, and I'm on a health thing, so I'm not going to take my glasses off. There's a social pressure aspect too, right? Oh, I get it a lot, by the way, when I'm out and when I take it out. I actually don't go out too much without my glasses because it's really hardcore and I can't see very well. But when I do have to go outside, people will look at me funny, like, why is this guy wearing blue blocking glasses? But that's another challenge that I like to overcome because it helps me with this idea of getting over, which I suffer with, and we all do, like caring what other people think.
Right.
So I'm like, I care more about my health.
Right.
I like to think I care more about my health than this person that who isn't into health, and they're not into health because they're not doing what I'm doing. So I already know without them speaking. So yeah, do. It's a great aspect. That's another thing to with health and all these things that I love. Urine therapy, sun gazing. I've got into blue blocking glasses, all these weird shit. Being naked, it puts you in this angle where you start to learn that you put yourself. There's social pressure. You put yourself in an angle where you start to learn to get very serious. It doesn't matter what other people think of you because that's the most important. Do you know what, Jerome? As I'm talking here, I think that's like what is one of the most powerful reference experiences and journeys in your life here in duality is to slowly grow into not caring what other people think of you, letting go and becoming your true self. Because what holds us back, right? What holds us back, even us as light workers, what holds light workers back from their true potential is facing your fears and caring what other people think of you. I think that's the core of what holds us all back. Because like, if it didn't, why isn't everyone creating their own video series? Why isn't everyone standing in front of 300 people speaking their truth? Why isn't everyone really confident like all the time? Even myself, why am I not confident? Because I'm always facing my fears. I'm trying my best, but if you don't, and you can't let that fear set in. You can't let the fear set in of caring what people think of you. It's a disease. It's an actual disease. Yeah. Caring what people think of you, right?
Yeah. I love that, man. You know, it's definitely allowed me to create a lot more content, and it's allowed me to put a lot more stuff out there. Regardless of whatever backlash or judgment that I thought would come my way, is because I understand that, you know, like that other people are really just thinking about themselves. You know, they're not really thinking about me anyway. Everybody's in their own mind, you know. Everywhere we go, there we are.
Yes.
You know, so it allowed me to put a lot more of myself out there to have a message for someone, just knowing that I need not fear that judgment. So that's a wonderful, wonderful thing that you said there for people to realize that for themselves, because that is what's stopping a lot of people from really just putting themselves out there in any kind of way, because they're fearing that judgment. But
it's true. But I have to say too, I don't know if I'm sure you'll agree, 2020 has been absolutely amazing. What I've seen with the Soul family and the connections I've made so far with you guys, I'm not even kidding. And there's some people watching here that I've spoken to too personally. And everyone's been stepping up this year in the light worker movement. From what I've been seeing, even for myself, everyone has done. And what I mean by that is everyone's version of themselves, they've grown so much. They've really taken on more challenges, whether it's Corona stepping us up, the Gaia, the energy's coming, whatever it is. Everyone has been stepping up and doing their own version, and that makes me super excited. Let alone our journeys. Our journeys are amazing. We're stepping up, but everyone around us is stepping up. The light workers are stepping up. Man, we are literally living in the most exciting time. I am blessed that I am here. Right, you are blessed. We are all so blessed to be right here right now. Like, and it's only the beginning of a shift. And that's the mind fuck. I'm already so high with what everyone's doing and myself that can it get any higher? And apparently it can. And it's gonna. Yeah. I'm super excited.
Yes, it can. It's like, can it get any better than this? It's like, yes, it can.
Yeah. It can.
So brother, you know, we have once again, and I love that we were talking about eyes a lot earlier, because, you know, our friend Tuche, she's an iridologist, and she took a look at my eyes and she was able to see.
Who you said? Sorry, who was the name of that person?
Tuche. Who
did you say?
Tuche.
Oh, Tuche she's an iridologist. She saw your eyes. Cool.
Yeah.
Studied it.
She took a look at them, and she was able to see like different things that were happening in my body just for examining, you know, a picture of my eyes close up. And she also said in the comment section, I remember reading that the face, palms, and soles of feet are the most absorbent surfaces in the body, she said. So, you know, I would love to talk about grounding as well and earthing, because you do a lot of that yourself, having parts of your body touching the earth. And what has that done, and why is that important for us to know?
Oh, grounding is huge. Actually, I tell you guys a little secret that I don't like to talk because it ruins the story I've got in my head. Because just before urine therapy, it was grounding actually that I did. I had the grounding book by Sinatra. I was always been open-minded. Had the grounding book by Sinatra, and I thought, oh, this is bullshit. Honest to God, I thought, oh, this is absolute bullshit. But I'll read it, and it didn't make any sense. And then I went out in the garden one day by accident, never an accident, and sat there on the soil with my feet off for meditating. But then I was like, no, it's not the meditation. I've sat here for an hour. Why do I feel better? And then I connected the dots. Oh, right. I need to reread that grounding book. I reread the grounding book 2 weeks after I read it. I thought it was bullshit. And I was like, okay, now I get it. And I became obsessed with grounding. Why do we need to ground? Because it's got medicine in it. It's got literally physical, emotional, and spiritual medicine. It's got negative ions. It's what it's what we were designed to do to remain healthy and to give us the vibration shift that we need. It cures diseases. Why do people get unhealthy? A huge reason, there's many. It's because we wear shoes now and we insulate. We've got pavements, we've got streets, and they stop us from what we were naturally connected to. We're supposed to be connected. The root system of our tree, we are a tree, just like the trees. We're supposed to be connected to the earth and have skin contact. That's the key. Or we can have leather shoes or things that are semiconductors, but our shoes at the moment don't. And yeah, I've just come off. I try and do it every day. Today I did 2 hours outside in the midday. That's kind of unusual for me. And actually I do something that's kind of stupid. I don't know, stupid. I wouldn't say that. That's my self-judgment there. Look at that. I'm not a perfect person. I'm calling myself stupid. Like, yeah. Look at that. It creeps in, huh? What I was doing is, I've got this thing going with getting my bum on the ground. It's actually really cool. So I do bum. If I'm going to go and sit down, and sit down and read a book, then I'll get my feet right on the ground, but I won't take my whole pants off. I'll just take a little bit on my pants and my bum's on the ground. And why I do that is because it's extra. The key with grounding to get the more medicine, because I'm sure everyone knows the grounding's good, is to get more surface area exposed to the ground. So you can lie down for a bit for 5 minutes completely and get your back, or you can just do your bum as well. So I'm huge on that. Get as much body surface area to the ground, because that just increases the capacity for the medicine to go in quicker. Right, the feet is great, but the more the merrier. And yeah, it's transformational. One thing I'd like to say with that as well is that I've noticed that when I ground for like 1 hour or 2 hours a day, my skin becomes much more young looking. I look in the mirror before and after, and it's scary, the difference. Like, for real. So there's something going on there with the medicine gets in my opinion, negative ions gets into every single nook and crack. That's another thing, grounding. It's one of those that gets into every single nook and cranny of your body, because the body's full of crap and everything, right? The grounding gets in everywhere given time, but it definitely does something to the skin. And that's a mad thing. And what I'm saying is my face looks younger, and that's from grounding from my feet. So it's going all the way up to the brain and working the skin there. And it's a fountain of youth.
Yeah.
It's a fountain of youth. There's so many fountains of youth, but grounding is a fountain of youth, for sure.
And we're not even, we're not that far in age. Like, I think we're only 3 years apart. You're 33, correct?
Right. Yeah. How old are you?
Yeah.
You're 36?
I'm 29. I turned 30 this year. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I'm older than you. Okay. Cool.
But you've got all that youthful vigor, all that vibrant energy. And it's like through your practice, this holistic health, the things that you're doing intentionally every day, is like giving you all this energy. I like to call it, as one of my friends calls it, the caffeine of the universe. Like this is things that are natural, things that we have, but we have taken for granted. Things like the sun, things like the earth. Walking on mother's belly, walking on the ground, and I just love that you are just so devoted to improving yourself in this way, because by you doing that for yourself, you do that for the collective.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate it. One thing, when you were talking that I was thinking of is, like, we do a lot of physical health protocols. I do a lot of physical health, and it gives me lots of energy. But another thing that I've been thinking on my mind too is what gives me energy is I'm coming into my purpose and my mastery. And when you are more in line, as we grow and everyone watching this, as you align more with your purpose, what you'll find is that gives you more excitement and more energy. It's almost like physical health protocols do give you lots of energy and vibrancy. Don't get me wrong, they really do. But it's also this spiritual aspect to it. I'm thinking that, like, because I know what I'm doing now, I'm helping a lot more people. I'm growing into my power. I'm being more sociable. I'm really affecting more lives. That gives me, and talking about things I love and I'm learning, that gives me more energy. It's a huge component to happiness, of spirituality. And when you find your purpose, doesn't matter if you're like at beginning stages, but when you start to crack open the layers of bullshit that stop you from, when you start to realize why you're here, slowly start to realize it, you're going to get more energy. You're going to get more happy. You're going to get more healthy. You're going to become more whatever you want, your greatest version. It's amazing. And it's not often talked about. So people always think it's physical health protocols that make you energetic. And I feel like that is a part of it, but it's more to do with, I'm in alignment now with why I was sent here.
Yeah.
I'm in alignment with why I'm sent here.
Purpose. I love that. There's a quote I forget who said it. It might be Mark Twain or someone, but it said that, you know, the two most important days in our life are the day that we were born and the day we find out why.
Yeah.
You know, the day
Yeah.
that we discover
I love
why.
that. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm reminded too of purpose. You know, my friend tells me, like, allow your passion, you know, to fuel your purpose, and it will one day become your profession, or allow your purpose to become your passion, and it will one day become your profession. You know, so it's like, did you ever know that you would be into all of this, all of these things today years ago? Did you ever know that this Harry Matadine, like this version of you, would be here?
No, not as me in this version of duality, for sure. No, I never could imagine that I would be doing all the wonderful things I am now, and it freaks me out, and it's where gratitude comes back to it. Like the fact that we have transformed ourselves so much and so radically and become, because I remember I used to be like so quiet, and the thing with me was I would just listen to people and nod and I destroyed my personality. So I'm blessed. I've had to regrow in a very significant way a personality. That's amazing though. Not many people have to regrow their personality from, I used to nod at people and laugh insincerely all the time. So I've really had to learn how to have my own opinions and grow. And for that, I am grateful and forever blessed. And probably the biggest thing I'm blessed for is the communities. Because I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have written all the books. I wouldn't have I'm not saying I have big influence. I just wouldn't have any influence at all if it wasn't for the people that I've learned from, for free, by the way, from Facebook, and the connections I've made. And it's been beyond phone. And this is all from our ancestors. It's from you guys, and then it goes deeper because we learned it from our ancestors, from humans. That's what I'm saying, is humans are amazing, magical creatures. We've got to get out the idea that humans are brainwashed and all that stuff. Yeah, that's a part truth, but that's not all humans. That there's always been knowledge that has been suppressed, but it's still out there. Right. All the knowledge that we thought has been lost. No, look at the knowledge passed down to us, like seam retention, urine therapy, fasting, fruits, and diet, and all these, and for grounding, meditation, and yoga, all these things, and qigong, all these things have been passed down. They've not been lost, and for that, I mean, I'm beyond grateful.
Man, Harry, I love what you just said there, because that is so important. Environment. You know, even if we're in separate regions of the world, you know, we can still place ourselves in the right environment. You know, an environment that's conducive for our self-growth and our healing. It's like people we know in our circle, people like Tuche, people like Fabian, people like Monica Schuett, people like Jessica, you know, Open Ancient Eyes, like all these practitioners who I would have never met had I not started down this path. But now that I'm interacting with you and all these other people, I feel like my vibration is automatically lifted. Like you're activating light codes in my body just by interacting with you, you know?
Yeah. It's amazing how you pick up energies of other people. We're really sensitive, a lot of us in the light community work, because we're empaths. We've been through a lot and we've come up, and it's left an empath residue, so we pick up energies quicker. And that's good and bad. They say it's a blessing and a curse. It's a curse when you surround yourself too long around the wrong people. We get that. But then we have the opportunities now to grow and to put ourselves in the right environment where we can protect our energies. If we're by ourselves, that's fine. You, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this, protect our energies. But also surrounding ourselves ultimately in the future, like you said, with people that are high vibe, with vibration, and picking up all the things that you want, because ultimately everyone watching this is on a growth journey, and you are picking up unconsciously, even if you don't think consciously doing it, you're picking up unconsciously all the lessons you need from other people to get you to where you want to go. And where you want to go is the highest version of you. You don't even choose it. It's what you're programmed inside your body to go. You will go automatically. Everyone here is programmed. Humans are programmed to go to the highest version of themselves. Yes, some people get lost, but people watching this you wouldn't be watching this if you were lost. So there is hope. There's always hope. And man, we also know that we don't die. And this, do you know what, Jerome? This is the hardest. In a way, it's fun, but it's also really hard duality. It's the hardest shit. Life is easy after you die. Then you just go somewhere else and maybe you return to infinite conscious stuff. This is the hard shit. This is a school of tough lessons, right? It's fun and it's tough. And this is the hard shit. So you get through this, you can get through anything. You get through duality, it's all easy. It's all uphill. Just get through it and enjoy yourself.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, brother, we talked about a wealth of topics. I know that there's so much more to explore. You just have so much inside you, brother. And I really do. I got to tell you, I appreciate having you on. And for this last minute, because they're giving us one last minute here, just, you know,
they do that.
Let people know where to find you.
I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm Holistic Health Harry. I'm Harry Massine on Facebook. You type in Holistic Health Harry. My YouTube. If you're interested in urine therapy, semen retention, fasting, and all kinds of geeky things I do, blue light toxicity, go on Holistic Health Harry on YouTube. Instagram as Holistic Health Harry. I try and brand myself so that people find me easy, and that's how I see myself, my ego. What else have I got? My 6 books you can find on Amazon. Type in Harry Massine on Amazon, or type in aged urine, because I'm the only person that's written a book on urine therapy, aged urine specifically, and you'll find all my books. So yeah, that's pretty much all my platforms. So
Awesome.
yeah, I think I've done it.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Well, hey, man, you have a great, wonderful rest of your day. And thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for shining, brother.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate everyone for allowing me to share my mastery. And I've got so much energy from this conversation and sharing with you, Jerome. I'm blessed. So thank you so much.